moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise, and this week, my movie review comes from Hulu. The name of the movie is Quiz Lady, and it stars Awkwafina, Sandra Oh, Will Ferrell, and Holland Taylor. Those are the bigger names in the movie. And there is a very small cameo by Paul Reubens, the late Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. So, this movie, you have Anne and Jenny, played by Awkwafina and Sandra Oh. They are sisters. They are total opposites. They could not be more opposite than day and night. and so Anne is the more reserved sister who lives by a particular routine and schedule, and her life revolves around her job, her dog, and basically watching quiz shows. And so when the movie starts, you see this youngster who is watching a quiz show and is so drawn in by the host, who is played by Will Ferrell, and she is just locked in. Every night at the same time when this quiz show comes on, she is there, and she is a whiz at all of the information that she's taking in. I mean, think of a Jeopardy champion who just knows all the answers. This is what her life was from a little girl all the way now up into adulthood, and watches the show faithfully, never missing a show. Well, the mother of Anne and Jenny has gotten herself into a pickle, if you will. She was a resident of, let's say, a retirement home or living facility, but Mama had some gambling debts, and she created this situation for herself to the tune of upwards of $80,000. Well, of course, Mama couldn't pay her debts, so she left town. And so, of course, who's going to pay the debts, or whose responsibility is it now? It's Anne and Jenny. Well, Jenny, who is the sister who is the exact opposite of Quiz Lady. I mean, this woman is chaotic. You can't depend on her. You can't rely on her. She's just all over the place. She's a free spirit, and she's just really doesn't have her life together, but always trying to find herself and find her way. And the more she tries, the worse her personal situations become. So once the two sisters find out that Mama's got these gambling debts, and the people that Mama owes this money to are after them, they got to figure something out. What do? They're trying to figure it out. We don't have that kind of money. Well, unbeknownst to Miss Quiz Lady, her sister one evening is watching, how her sister is just like, wow, she knows all the answers. She's really good at this. She's better at this than I thought. And she secretly takes her phone and she records her. She doesn't, she just records her, doesn't say anything, and she keeps it. Because in her chaotic mind, I know how we can get $80,000. You're smart. You're the brains of this ridiculous relationship that we have. And we're going to go all the way across country so that you can get on the quiz show, win the money, pay off the gambling debts, and life is golden. So in doing so, the two sisters, of course, Anne is reluctant to do this. Listen, I don't have time for this. I like the show for what it is. I know the answers. Yeah, I'm smart, but that's as far as it goes. So of course they butt heads because one is like, no, the other's like, yeah, we got to do it. So their road trip all the way across country to get to this quiz show is just one big ball of mess and nonsense, and they meet really weird people on the way, and they fall into weird situations along the way. But it is a really, really funny movie. It was quite enjoyable. I have never seen Sandra Oh in a comedic role. She's always been, as far as I know, in more dramatic roles. Of course, Sandra Oh was on Grey's Anatomy for a few years there. So that's how I know her. But in this comedic role, the two of them, Sandra Oh and Awkwafina, played off of each other so well. I mean, their comedic timing was just on point. I mean, they matched each other's energy, word for word, line for line. It was really, really fun to watch those two together. And Holland Taylor played the neighbor of Quiz Lady, and she was just a curmudgeon from start to finish. So if you could have a bad neighbor, that's one you don't want. So that is my review, Quiz Lady. It's about 90 minutes, but it was 90 minutes of fun, enjoyable movie for me. So that is my review. All right, folks, I'm going to jump right into my Nailed It this week. And my Nailed It comes from the movie The Temptations. And the movie itself was really, really good. But this particular scene was played by Leon, who played the role of David Ruffin. And when the Temptations, the group just got fed up with his nonsense and his shenanigans and his arrogance and so forth, they fired him and sent him a letter and fired him. Well, he wasn't having it. He got into his Cadillac and he had his driver drive him to Motown Studios and proceeded to stand on the sidewalk and cuss them out. It was so funny to watch them looking at him like something is really wrong with him. And he is just cussed them out from top to bottom. Mine nailed it. I mean, totally, totally hilarious. But, the acting with Leon in that entire movie was spot on. So that is my Nailed It. Leon from The Temptations cussing out his band members. All right, folks, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please make sure you hit that like button. And remember, we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, "Have you seen it?" with Denise, and there I will be. All right, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to go see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Till next week, bye-bye.